Good morning, fellow gardeners. Well, we're back here. We're gonna show you how to. We've kind of updated a little on building these wicking tubs out of these cattle feed tubs. Of course, these are new ones I have here. I've got some used ones outside, but I brought in a new red one and a new blue one, and then we're going to use a fancy pot because there's some ladies say they don't want to use this old ugly tub out on their front porch, and I don't blame them. So we have these fancy little pots here that we bought off of Walmart, and I think these cost about $24 or maybe a little less or maybe a little bit more, but there's no holes in these, so we can use them also. And so we're going to make a video on making each one of these different. So for the next 3 videos, you'll have your choice of 3 different ways to build this tub out of a different one. So we've got this fancy pot right here that we're going to use. We drilled a hole about 3 or 4 inches up, as long as you stay shorter than your bucket. And this bucket we're using is a little 3-gallon bucket we got in here. You can put 3 1-gallon jugs in there if you want to in the place of this. But what we did, I'll show you, we drilled holes, 3 or 4 holes along here, and that way when we set it in there, as it fills up with water, the air can push out the top. If you don't drill these holes in there, then your air will get up here and float this bucket up through your soil. So you must drill you some little holes. You can make these at 3/16 to 1/4, and that'll work fine. And you just set this down in this pot that's from Walmart's. We have a hole in the side of it, 4 inches up, and then we're going to ask Richard to just pour this full of soil. That's all you have to do, and we're going to put the pipe in there so you can fill it up. Richard, bring us a sack of soil there, and we'll put it right in here. We're going to put it right opposite of our hole. Our hole is over at my left hand. We're going to put this pipe over at my right hand. Now you can drill a hole in top of this bucket and put it down through there if you prefer. So it's either way you want to do it. Okay, here we go, Richard. Just give me some soil in there now, and we'll get this filled up halfway up. Now we're using potting mix, not potting soil. A lot of you have called lately and want to know if they can use potting soil. Potting soil is too fine. We have to have a coarse mix to make this work right. Okay, Richard, that's about far enough. Now let me stop here and put my fertilizer in, and I'll get you back in here. All right, now then, that'll take me just a minute. Now then, on our fertilizers, you can call and get a rate that we use. We're going to use an eighth of a cup of gypsum, lime, and Epsom salt in here. There's your gypsum, and here is your lime that we're going to put in there. Let me get this open, get an eighth of a cup of that, and just scatter it in there just like into that, right into there. And then we'll get our Epsom salt.
Now, what did you say that was?
That was lime.
Lime.
We'll put gypsum and lime and Epsom salt. So many people call me and say, well, can I go without those 3? Yes, you can. We're just trying to help you tweak this so that you can grow as many tomatoes as you can in here, or flowers. Now, this is a sea mineral. This is not sea salt. This is sea mineral, and it takes 1/4 of a cup of this on this right here. So we put our sea mineral in there, and we got sustain. We have to put 1/2 a cup of sustain in there.
Are you the only place that they can get sustain?
Well, there is other places they can order it, but they pay more money for it. We sell all this different fertilizers at $2.50 a pound, plus a little shipping on it. And okay, that's where we go right there on that. That's another cement over. Unused all that. All right, now then, Richard, go ahead and finish filling it up. Now, if you've already used it 1 year and you're going to go back the second, just put it on top, stir it in a little bit, and you'll be just fine. Okay.
How far from the top?
I just put it about 6 inches down. It's not that definite. You can put it up on top and stir it in, or if you're going to put a tomato plant in the middle, put it around the outside edge, and you're just as well off that way too. Put a little more in there, Richard, and we like it up here pretty full. All right, there we go. All right, now you're ready to just take your tomato plant. You've got that all lined out like that. Put you a hole right there and put your tomato plant down in it pretty deep and just let it stick out a little bit. And water it from the top for the first couple of 3 weeks, about every other day. You water it in from the top to get this set in. That water is going to go down there and settle in the bottom, and it's going to hold 4 inches of water. Now, after you get this watered in for the first couple of weeks or so, then you start watering down this pipe. You put a teaspoon of of Nature Source. You start out with a 464. This 1043, I'm sorry, it's a 1043 Nature Source. You put a teaspoon per gallon of water for every gallon you put down through there. Yes, you can mix this in this water that you're going to pour for the first 2 weeks. It's fine and dandy. If you don't do it, there's no law says you have to. Use clear water if you want to. I'm easy on you. But anyway, once you start, after the 2 weeks, yes, I want you to make sure you start putting fertilizer in that water every time you water it, 1 teaspoon per gallon. You start off with the Nature Source, which is a higher nitrogen, a 1043. You grow it that way on vegetables that bloom to make a fruit, like peppers, tomatoes, eggplants, squash, okra, cucumbers, anything like that. You're going to use this Nature Source until it starts to bloom. Once it starts blooming, then you're going to go back and get your master blend, which is 83423. You're still going to use a teaspoon per gallon. Every time you put a gallon of water in there, or 2 gallons or 3 gallons, you just put 1 teaspoon per gallon. Every how much you put in there. You'll put this back on the shelf and you won't use it again until next year, unless you're growing something like lettuce or spinach, Swiss chard, broccoli, stuff like that, you eat the leaves and not the fruit. So you use this master blend on fruiting. You use the Nature Source to finish up any leaves, spinach, lettuce, and all, so forth like that. So, because you need that high center number and high last number to mature that fruit, to make a lot of blooms, mature the fruit, and go on till it matures and you get the ripe fruit. That's what you stay with. If it's on the greens, stay with your Nature Source. All right, that's the way we make this bucket here. If you're going to put flowers in it, do the same thing. Put your flowers in there. Use this here Nature Source until they start to bloom a little, and then you start using the master blend to keep them blooming all season long. All right, if you like this video, punch the button, ring the bell, and subscribe, and we'll make you another video.